Hi there guys, you might have seen these few videos I made a little while ago about becoming an Evri courier, how much it pays, what my first experiences were like with it. And although these videos do give you quite a lot of good information that I feel is quite interesting and quite valuable to anybody who's thinking of becoming a courier with Evri, this was about 6 months ago and it probably doesn't give you the full picture of where I am now with it, and I just wanted to give you a bit of an update and let you know why unfortunately I don't actually deliver for Evri anymore. So there are 3 parts to this story because I worked for them in weirdly 3 different ways. So the last video I made talked about my first full month working for Evri. In total, I did 7 weeks. I did 7 weeks where I got paid weekly, and then I did a full month where I calculated what my earnings were. And they turned out to be okay. From what I remember, it was about £13 an hour. Just to put it into context, this was at a time where the other work providers that I worked for, being Uber, Just Eat, Deliveroo, Amazon, and Stuart, who do Tesco, Wish, etc., were in a bit of an area where I wasn't really making much money. So at that point, I was kind of like happy-ish with £13 an hour, but it's definitely, it's not ideal. The good thing about that was that it was £13 an hour, but I wasn't really doing very many miles. So I wasn't putting like a lot of wear and tear and fuel and stuff like that into my car. So following on from that, obviously at that point I was doing the same round every time that I was working. Just to let you know, I can only do part-time as well because I've got other commitments going on. So I can't, they got like a self-employed plus courier system where you can become like a full-time courier and pick up the same round every day. That might be a bit better, I don't know, but this is my experience of being a self-employed flexi courier, or whatever they call it. So I was doing the same round every day, and it worked out quite good like that. The only thing I would say is that I was going faster than even what the optimizer was saying was the fastest. And I was getting told off basically every time I went back to the station saying, you're going too fast, you're missing your ETAs because you're ahead of time, which is just crazy. Like, how can I only be making £13 an hour going faster than what the system says? But there we go. So following on from that, somebody else took on that round full time. So then I was unable to do that round going forwards. And I'd already sort of decided that if that round wasn't going to be available anymore, I probably wouldn't carry on. And this is because when you're working with Evri, basically they say to you, would you like to do this round? I've got it available tomorrow, or I've got this round available on Thursday, this round available on that day. And the thing that I really, really hate about it is that they're not saying in advance, what the rate's going to be. So there's no indication of how much I could be earning, how much of the day it's likely to take up, because they don't say, like, he literally would just say to me, okay, tomorrow, do you want to go to Bradnich? There's no indication of how many parcels they were expecting and what the pay would be. So it's really difficult to calculate whether it was going to be worthwhile. And another thing that I did notice is that the system they use for navigating deliveries, whereas Amazon's system is extremely good, it literally takes you to the door and it takes you one by one by one by one, drop by drop by drop by drop, exactly sort of the quickest way to do it. Every system is a bit of a disaster. You kind of have to, the way that I did it was I was driving to the beginning of where I want to start dropping from, and then organizing my ETAs from there manually. And it's just a time-consuming, kind of like shoddy 30 years ago kind of process, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, the main problem I had with it was that they weren't telling me what the rates were going to be. So at that point, I decided no more Evri for me, because if I'm doing 13, maybe £14 an hour, just about, when I'm going faster because I know the round very well, how much am I going to earn when I don't know the round? The system's taking me here, there, and everywhere, and not to the correct addresses sometimes, and not in a very good order. I was thinking I'm probably likely to earn less than minimum wage. And this is the issue that I have with Evri. It's just not worth it for me in the long run. And then on top of that, they've moved the pickup location much further out from Exeter than when I first applied. So I had to think that into my equation as well. And also they increased the amount of couriers that were picking up from that station, meaning basically it was taking much longer to drive out there, much longer to pick up. So all in all, it became a bit like not really worth it. So from there, I was kind of left thinking, no more Evri. Not a problem, because it started picking up a little bit. I was doing more Amazon, etc. But then I got contacted one day by one of their contracted couriers who had broken down. And he said to me, would you be willing to take some of my parcels? And it just so happened that the area that he was delivering to is basically my street, my road, and like about 10 roads off of it. So extremely ideal for me. Know the area very well, was very happy with it. And he said, basically the contractor that he worked for would pay me £1 per parcel. And I work for him rather than working directly for Evri, which is fantastic for me, because Evri I worked out 59p per drop. This is £1 per drop, so it worked out much better. Going on from there, he explained to me that he was ill and he needed he was after somebody to maybe take on half the round anyway. So for around about 2 months, I was doing half of this round, which was about 30 to 50 parcels. And I was always doing it at the end of the day when I'd done with all my other delivery work. Basically, he was driving it to my house, dropping it off me, and I was going and doing it. And it was fantastic, to be fair, because I was making roughly 25, 30 pound an hour, if not more. Only doing a few parcels, just dropping around my house, and it just bumped up my earnings and made my day absolutely fantastic every single day. So at that point, I carried on doing that. Unfortunately, then he, as I said, he was ill, so he had to go for some treatment. So he's gone for treatment. I started working for the contractor directly, which I did for a little while. But as I mentioned to you before, the pickup location is now so far away. And another thing is that with Evri is that, like, if you're in a small car, if you've got lots of small packages, it works out great because you can pick up a large volume of stuff. But quite often I was arriving at the pickup and I was only able to take like half of a round, if that. And it just kind of ended up being like okay, but not really worth it. And then when my daughter started her new school, doing the school runs and stuff, just became a little bit too difficult to work it into my day. Although like the money he was paying is obviously pound parcels, much better than what I was getting from Evri. As September came, it just became a bit more worthwhile just to carry on doing food deliveries and stuff and not have to worry about going to pick up and then get all the deliveries done before the school run so that the car's empty so I can pick her up, etc. Boring stuff. The other reasons why I don't really deliver with Evri at the moment is because flexibility-wise, I'm not that flexible to be able to help him every day. And quite often, sometimes, like, I'm quite strict. Like, I will not deliver something if it's not. If you never worked for Evri before, you can only deliver to certain parts of the house. So if somebody's not in, you can't just chuck it at the doorstep. Although from what I've heard, like, some people just do anyway. But I'm not the sort of person that's going to do that because you don't know what they've got in their package. It could be anything. So quite often I was left with like 5 or 6 carry forward parcels. And then I was like in the position where I'm trying to get them to another courier to take them back out to the station if I wasn't able to work for another few days. Or even like once or twice I had to drive off my own back all the way out to the station, which is about 6-7 miles away. And it just like became, okay, this is great if I can deliver all the parcels, but you never can. So yeah, that's just my update on Evri. Personally, like, I can't comment too much on self-employed plus contracts, but the flexi contracts, I honestly don't think they're worth it because they don't tell you the rates of where you're going. They don't tell me how many parcels. Quite often it's very disorganized, disjointed when you arrive at the station. I just don't think you're going to make enough money, especially unless you get around where you get quick at, you know the area quite well, or you go you manage to make a connection like I did with somebody else, and you get a better rate. I hope that I've had quite a lot of questions on the other 2 videos because I gained quite a lot of traction. I hope that kind of like answers quite a few questions. And if it doesn't, please pop some questions down below. I'll quite happily answer your questions, or if they're like more in-depth questions, make another video explaining again. But yeah, basically that is why I am no longer working for Evri. If you've enjoyed the video and you want to give me like some support, please don't forget to do all the kind of YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe. And if you're interested in how much money you can make on other platforms like Delivery, Just Eat, Uber Eats, etc., Amazon, I've got loads of videos with loads of different information. Or if you're just getting started and you want to know, like, for example, what insurance you need, what bag is good to have, I've got loads of videos like that as well. So please, as I said, give me a like, comment, subscribe. Watch any videos that you think are pertinent to you. And if you've got specific questions, as I said before, pop them in the comment section down below. I try to answer as many comments as I can. And if I've got a video that answers your question, obviously I'll just show you the video. But catch you next time. Cheers. Bye.